Hello folks, Scott here with my October 2016 Paper Pumpkin Kit. This is the Season of Gratitude card kit from Paper Pumpkin for October. This contains the supplies for 8 shaker cards along with their envelopes. These are very charming cards, very nice. The Season of Gratitude stamp set is this great stamp set, 5 sentiments, an acorn stamp, and this great crackle stamp. This is a really, really, really nice stamp. I wish it was bigger, but it's sized perfectly for this kit. I could have done without 2 or 3 of the sentiments and maybe had another image stamp, possibly a leaf or something, but this crackle stamp makes this stamp set worth it all by itself. We also got the chocolate chip Stampin' Spot for this month. A little less thrilled with this. It was just August, I believe, when we got the early espresso Stampin' Spot. I've been a member of Paper Pumpkin now. This is my 9th month. And with the chocolate chip Stampin' Spot from this month, the early espresso from August, and the tip top taupe, that's 3 browns that we have gotten in the past 9 months. Of course, I'll always go through and make a couple of cards at least by the instructions. The only thing different here is I added a few sequins to the outside. The instructions did not include putting barriers of the foam strips between the cutouts. So unfortunately, your sequins and other shaker bits will go all the way down to the bottom. I did, of course, make a horizontal card according to instructions as well. My only difference here is I did put barriers between the shaker windows, so all of those sequins stay in their respective windows. Very nice. This is beautiful. I could certainly be happy putting all 8 cards together just like this and be done and happy with the kit. I did double or triple stamp this on my Misty to get this deep of an impression with my chocolate chip Stampin' Spot. I did want to try and see what else I could do. I found it very challenging this month. It seems to me that most of the Paper Pumpkin card kits have lots of extra materials in them. Extra stickers, extra die cuts, extra embellishments. That gives you a little bit more leeway with creating your kit. This kit, since it was shaker cards, had exactly what you needed to do these 8 cards. If you did all of these 8 cards as instructed, the only materials you would have left, other than your stamp set and your Stampin' Spot, are the die-cut leaves. So you get 24 die-cut leaves. That would be it. You would have used everything else up in your kit. So I wanted to try using basically the materials in the kit. I, of course, dipped into my stock to stretch things out a little further and get a little bit more variety going in this card kit. So I shot for 8 cards. This is what we've got. I liked the crackle stamp so much, I wanted to see if I could make it bigger and could stamp it in repetition with any accuracy whatsoever. So with a little practice, I was able to stamp them right next to each other with no discernible gap between, with no overlap. It took some great care, but was able to do that. You can see the 2 stamps here are overlapped just a little bit and start to make a vertical line. But with some real care and attention, you can get those stamped right next to each other. That looks like it's one larger stamp instead of a smaller stamp. So I took that very vanilla piece with the die cuts and chopped it in half and got rid of the large white expanse. I took the crackle stamp and stamped it all the way down the left side of the card here. I used the die cuts themselves and inked them up and put them down for the background, which I thought was great fun because even though they are inked up in different colors, they still echo that same embossed image that is, well, the embossed stripes that's on the Very Vanilla piece. So everything's still going in the same direction. All the embossing is the same. You can see the embossing on the background pieces, even though they're different colors. I split the Delightful Dijon label in two to make a tall label here. Thank you on the Cajun Craze label. It's a nice card. It feels very different from the original in the kit, while still being very similar and still being a shaker card. That's alternate card number 1. The embossing in stripes on this Very Vanilla piece, that said cardboard to me. I had this great cardboard and used those for my second card. I covered the back of the open leaves with the cardboard going in the same direction as the embossing on this piece. Because I opened up a number of the square background pieces, I found I had a couple of Doris dies, old Doris dies, that matched the shapes of the leaves very closely. So I used these dies to cut out a number of the background pieces into different leaves, stamped them with the crackle stamp, of course, used those to make a little garland over the top of the Dijon tab here with Gratitude, a few sequins on the front. This is very nice. I like the cardboard. It matches the same tone of the craft card base. Alternate card number 2. So I thought, can we do something other than having all 3 of those die cuts right on top of each other or right beside each other? So I took and cut apart the Very Vanilla embossed base card on these diagonals, flopped them over, made it so that we've got 3 windows on different sides of the card now. I colored a couple of these die cuts, the oak leaf die cuts, colored those up with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I did also stamp those with the crackle stamp. I did use the acorn stamp, and double stamping was able to give me a little cap on those. This feels quite different while still being a shaker card. This is my 3rd alternate card. I knew I had some of this die cuts with a view cardboard in my stash. So while trying to brighten up the colors of this kit, I decided to double up on the die cuts as well. Took 2 of the Very Vanilla embossed pages, slit them down the middle, doubled up on the die cuts, one across from the other. Put the cardboard behind those, matching, of course, the embossing on the Very Vanilla pieces. I did disguise the seam between the 2 of them with a couple of rows of the old olive twine. This is a Lawn Fawn Scripty Thanks die. I cut this out of some dark brown and put a little wink of Stella on the top of that. I like this card a lot. A lovely thanks card. It's my 4th alternate card. Now, because I doubled up on the die cuts here, meant that I had a double plain Very Vanilla embossed piece. So let's put those together and make a wreath. So those 2 plain sides of the Very Vanilla embossed pages went together. I again disguised the seam with the twine. These are all of the die cuts from the kit, punched out, all colored with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers and stamped with the crackle stamp. I found the combination of those made a really, really believable leaf image. A number of sequins on the top. I did take the edges of one of the square die cuts and use that to edge around, make a little frame around the Very Vanilla piece. This is a great card. I love it. Once I saw the leaves in the kit, all I could think of was a fall wreath. But nice thank you, big bow, a couple of acorns, perfect, lovely thank you card. Alternate card number 5. Now for my last card, I have to go shaker again. But I wanted to push it just a little bit further than just being a shaker card. So I actually cut through the craft card base and made a window card. Made a window and shaker card. So it is a shaker card from both sides. Again, the images right behind the cutouts on the front are the die cuts colored with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, stamped with the crackle stamp. Of course, I did barrier out each one of those so the sequin stays within them. Stamped and fussy cut the acorn, added some extra color and texture. I cut down the Cajun Craze label to fit top and bottom on the Dijon flag. This goes straight through. Another nice banner of fall leaves, a combination of the die cuts from the kit and some die cuts that I made with my Doris dies and the background squares. It's a fun card, very nice, very different. I like the double window and being able to see the shaker card coming from both sides. I have not a lot left over from this kit. I do have a number of die cuts still usable. These are the 3 leaf shapes that I cut out of the card base for this card. Just 4 labels left, 4 of the little squares left, a few of my acorns that I fussy cut and didn't use yet. I got those left over. I of course have all of the die cut trimmings left over. I'll probably trash these. I have plenty of the adhesive strips and a good amount of the mini glue dots. The strips struck me as being extremely thick. I know we need room for the sequins to move around in, but I was surprised at how tight these cards go into their envelopes. It's a very tight fit. I would have thought we might have made a little bit bigger envelopes, although I love these envelopes. These are beautiful. This print inside is gorgeous, but it does make it hard to get the card both in and out because of the thickness of those foam strips. Great envelopes though. Definitely want to keep those as envelopes as far as I'm concerned. I also have a number of the sequins left. Since I didn't make every single card a shaker card, I have a number of the sequins left. Those will go in my stock. Not a lot, but a decent amount of the green twine still left. Well, that's my card kit, ladies and gentlemen, for October of 2016, Season of Gratitude card kit. I had a great time with this kit. It challenged me and inspired me. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please share it with friends and others you think might be interested. If you have any questions or comments, please note them down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And happy Paper Pumpkin!